views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
I'm Bodarky, and this is CityScape, a show I like to describe as an exploration of the people, places, and spirit of New York City. This is our Bronx edition, and today we are in Zaro's Bakery. Zaro's Bakery, the bakery synonymous with a black and white cookie, but they make so much more than the black and white. Let's go see where the magic happens. Our first stop is the office of Michael Zaro, the family bakery chain's chief operating officer. Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you for coming to visit us in the Bronx.
So who are in these portraits behind us here?
The two people in the portraits behind us here are my great-grandfather, Joseph Zarubczyk, and my great-grandmother, May. And they came to this country in early 1920s. My great-grandfather came here by himself and founded a bakery.
Zarubczyk, you said?
Zarubczyk, yes, that was the original family name.
So somewhere along the line it was shortened to
Somewhere along
Zaro.
the line it was shortened to Zaro. The story we've been told is that the cost of painting Zarubczyk on the bakery window was too high, and Zaro was a bit more reasonable.
So came to America from Poland and
Yes.
opened a bakery.
Correct.
Where exactly first?
The original bakery was in New Jersey with a few other people, and that didn't last all that long, and very shortly he moved here to Kingsbridge and opened his own bakery and brought his family over from Poland, and they lived in the upstairs and they worked downstairs, and that was how the bakery ran.
What was great-granddad baking back then?
Oh, you know, the basics. He was making bagels and rye breads and cakes, a lot of the things we still sell today. Rugula.
And today you're also known, though, for black and white cookies.
Well, the black and white cookie is interesting because our family lore is that my great-grandfather invented the black and white cookie. Other people claim they did. But the story was that he had a customer who'd come into his store who had two children. One child liked the chocolate cookie and one child liked the vanilla cookie, and the lady couldn't afford both. So my great-grandfather would ice one half black and one half vanilla for her, and hence the black and white cookie.
Is that your most popular item?
Our bagels are our most popular item.
Really?
Yes, we sell close to 2 million bagels a year at our retail locations, but our black and whites are up there.
How many retail locations do you have?
We have
now?
9 of our own retail locations today.
You're also in transit hubs, right?
We are mainly in transit hubs, yes. We're in Grand Central Terminal, Penn Station, New York, Penn Station, Newark. We have a street location up here in the Bronx in Parkchester, which we've been in since 1958. And we have one location in the Garment District on 37th and Broadway.
Was that a strategic move to set up shop in transit hubs, knowing people are hungry during their commutes?
It was a bit of luck. We had bakeries all throughout the Bronx in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. And as the Bronx was starting to burn in the 70s, an opportunity arose at Grand Central, and my grandfather took a gamble and went for it. And that's how we ended up in transit hubs.
So tell us about the operation here in this neighborhood of the Bronx.
Sure. So we've been operating here at our bakery since 1982. We were in Hunts Point from 1968 until 82. When we opened in Grand Central in the late 70s, we quickly blew out of the place we were in. We moved here. We've been here since, and today we operate a bakery here. We run about pretty much 24/7. Almost everything that goes to our retail stores is made and baked here and shipped out daily, fresh.
So let's talk about output. How much is actually coming out of this bakery on any given day?
Out of this bakery, sure. Well, we ship about, let's say, close to 2 million bagels annually. 2,500 black and whites a week. We sell about 1,500 challahs every week. And that's just what goes to our retail stores. We also ship some product to a few of the local supermarkets.
How many people do you employ here?
Our bakery has about 90 people in it, and the company has over 300.
Are many of them long-time employees?
Many are long-time employees, yes. Unfortunately, some of the more long-standing employees have retired in the last few years, but there's plenty of people when we walk the bakery floor who've been here for 10, 15, 20 years, absolutely.
Was it expected that you would continue the tradition of your family and go into the business?
No, it was not. I think my grandfather always wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer, and I, ended up working at the bakery.
What inspired you, though, to follow in the footsteps of your family?
The draw of doing what my great-grandfather did and what my father did and what my grandfather did. I thought that was something I had to explore, and it's been a wonderful fit.
What would you say has surprised you most about this business, being in the baking business in New York?
What surprised me most? One part is definitely the surprise and challenges of working with your family. It's always interesting. And on the upside, not that that's a downside, I guess, but selling food to New Yorkers is awesome. It's a real treat. We get to change people's days, make them better. You become part of someone's life. You sell them their challah every Friday, and you sell them their bagel every Monday through Friday, and it's impactful and meaningful.
Have the recipes stood the test of time? Have you messed with them at all?
Some no, some yes.
Which
Some
ones?
yes. Challah's pretty much stayed exactly as it was supposed to since the beginning. Bagels have seen a few tweaks here and there. Black and whites have held pretty true from the beginning. Rugelach have held pretty true from the beginning. The original core items, we've tried to maintain the integrity of them and not mess with the recipe.
Let's get back to the black and white
Sure,
for a moment.
yeah.
Is there a right way to eat a black and white cookie?
Everyone has their own way. I particularly like to eat the ends where you get both chocolate and vanilla first, because I like to have the mix of the two, then eat the vanilla and then finish with the chocolate because I'm a chocolate fan. But everyone has their own technique.
You veer off from black and white every now and then, right?
We do. So we sell all chocolate, we sell all vanilla, we sell standard black and white. And then on the holidays we'll do for Christmas like a red and green, or for Hanukkah blue and white. St. Patrick's Day green and white. So we try to have fun with it. We also do. We also make black and whites that are superhero themed. So Batman, Superman, fun for kids.
You also make little ones and you make big ones.
We do. We make mini black and whites that we sell in packs, about a dozen in a pack, and then we make the big ones that we sell individually.
Well, here's the great debate.
Yes.
Right? Is it a cookie or is it a cake?
Well, ours tends to be right in the middle. Some are very cakey, some are very cookie. Ours, I believe, is the perfect blend of cookie and cake.
Let's talk about this great mural that you
Sure.
have on your factory here.
Sure.
It's so vibrant, it's so colorful.
Let's say about 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, my father had been in Brooklyn, and he was seeing all these beautiful murals on the sides of buildings, and our building was kind of drab looking. And he said, we need to paint the building. And my brother and I, we said, what are we going to paint the building for? And we did it, and we were getting all this great attention. And what it did for the neighborhood was so nice. People were driving by every day. It was colorful. It was bright. And then several years ago, we wanted to redo it. About 4 years ago, we wanted to paint it again, something to freshen it up. And my father's best friend had a double lung transplant. And because of that, we'd become very involved with New York Organ Donor. And New York Organ Donor, we always do an event with them every year, and we're saying, what can we do this year that would really be more fun and interesting and gain some attention? And we said, well, what if we repaint the mural with an organ donor focus? And so New York Organ Donor commissioned an artist named Billy the Artist, and Billy came here and did this beautiful mural on the wall, and it's been up since. And thank you. It's a lot of fun.
It's definitely an eye catcher.
It is. It certainly is. I mean, it's amazing. Whenever I tell people where we are, I go, oh, it's the building with the big painting on the wall. They, oh, I drive by it every day, of course. So yeah, it's been good.
Who else in the family is still involved?
So myself, my brother Brian, my brother Scott, my cousin Rich, the fourth generation now, we sort of run the business.
Is there a fifth generation?
The fifth generation has been born, but they're very young still. Though my 6-year-old son has decided he's going to be a baker and he's going to come work here. But we have a lot of time, so we'll see.
And on that note, Michael gave me a peek inside the Zaro's factory. So here we are.
Here we are at the bakery.
factory.
Yeah. So we're making some chocolate cakes over here today. These will be turned into cakes later on in the day today.
So Michael, this is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. This is the bakery. We'll walk around a little bit. You guys can take some. You'll see everything. But this is the black and white cookie that we've been talking about that have just come out of the oven, and they're being prepared to be iced later today. So we'll ice about 500 black and whites a day during the week.
So much of the work here is actually done by hand.
We do
right?
a lot of work by hand. Our cakes are decorated by hand. Our rugged are made by hand. All of our Danish are made by hand. Yeah, it's important to us to keep it that way.
Are the black and whites iced by hand?
But yes, 100%.
So how do you avoid not overindulging when you work in a bakery like this?
Ebbs and flows, you know, but it takes a lot of discipline. You learn to kind of stay away from it, and that's my no great trick.
Do you have a favorite of all the things that you bake here?
Jeez. I think our chocolate rugged right now. It changes regularly. Right now, the chocolate rugged is my favorite.
And what would you say is among the employee favorite? Is there one that you find people asking about most?
Employee favorite. Oh, that's a tricky one too. I would go. I might go bagels. I might go bagels on the employee favorite. Yeah.
You have a lot of ovens here. I assume these are
We do.
all baking lots of different things at once?
They are. They're baking cakes. They're baking black and white cookies. They're baking brownies. Just a few things I can see kind of in eyesight right now.
From there, we feasted our eyes on more of what was going on in the factory. We saw dough being mixed to make bread, cakes being iced and boxed up, and everything in between. It was a treat. And that's all the time we have for this exploration of Zaro's Bakery in the Bronx. Thank you so much for coming along. I don't know about you, but I know I am now hungry. I'm going for a black and white. We'll see you next time.